goal umpire who's holding strong, like holds fat as a true goal umpire is...
I know who you're going to say.
What's his name?
David Roden. David Roden.
This is my antipod to Steele. Like, rip on us. cCosehy is launched. We have liftoff, baby.
Oh, yeah.
We have liftoff.
Really I'm abusing his footballing ability right now. He came on. Well, I can actually boost Hayden Young in right now.
G'day, lads. Welcome back to the One-Eyed Pod. It's the end of round five review. And fuck me, it was the emotional roller coaster, to say the least.
It had everything, didn't it? It had everything.
Like,
crazy. Just rookie carnage. Dud scores. Thank God it's best 18. We've actually been saved so many times from best 18, haven't we?
Oh my God. Like, on the weekend when Sanders got subbed, you're like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry, best 18. And I was like, oh, yeah, thank the God. Yeah. And it works out in the end. Like, we have such shit weeks and we end up still scoring well.
Yep. Yeah. And little did we know that, Sanders was the least of our worries. Like, McKercher just... I don't know that there's no news to come from that, I don't think. He's a trade out regardless. And we'll get on to our trades later. But having a 4 in your system is just... I think he could actually recover if we let him have until his bye. But there's no way you'd just... it's upgrade season almost. So you just got to cut him. He could have easily been one of the best rookies. And just this one injury has completely, shafted us. And, we have to trade him because he got a 4 or something so puny.
Well, they changed his role, didn't they? And they put him in the middle, and he just got crunched.
Yep. I missed the game. Yeah, I missed. I watched the last half and a little bit, but yeah, I saw him at 4, and I was just like, surely not. And then I see Dempsey. McKercher has scored more than him.
I know. The whole first quarter, he had scored more.
And I'm going, surely he's not injured. And then he's like, no, he's playing for forward. I'll get on to him in a minute because I had a few theories about him. But before we begin, just please like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot.
Getting it in there.
We always leave it late, and that's when we know that you tune out the last 15 minutes. Like we can be transparent and honest that we know that you do that, so we may as well get it in there nice and early just in case you can like it right now.
That's actually a great point, but it's actually been good. There've been a lot more people reaching out, a lot more comments, a lot more like people just interacting, and the pod's slowly growing, which is cool to see. And and for all the new people who do listen, like we say, it's an uneducated bias. Everything we take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly that. I think I changed my trade. I had 4 trade plans coming into Saturday afternoon, one hour before the deadline. 1 hour before the first game, because that's when my trade needed to happen. So, when we're not following, well, me most importantly, don't follow through the plans. And so I guess that is something that we can improve, but I don't think we should change anything because we've had pretty good weeks so far.
I
certainly did.
Yeah. I think I've only followed through with the trades that I said I was going to do once, and I regretted it the next week. It was Flanders in, and I regretted it. It was kind of like a season. It was a season-defining trade, and I didn't even realize it. But what can you do?
I just wanted, before we touch on the teams, this score review thing has to be abolished. How many times is it clear as day that it is a fucking point, and there is I want to know how much longer these games are taking to be completed, because we're just waiting for some obvious decision that everybody knows. Like, what do we have to give more training to the umpires? Or
Mate, the umpires are so scared. Like every single time it comes down, they are just petrified. Fuck, what do I do? What do I do? Score review.
But there hasn't been. Well, I guess because they're making so sure of it, there hasn't been like I can't remember a sort of goal defining decision, but there was one where they didn't do it for the Freo Carlton game. But that was just, it was obviously an error. We discuss it. That's it. But it's like just protection fully for the umpires now, which I get it. But deep down, like everyone has a mistake in them. Just call it a point. Just get rid of it. It's just, and I don't think they're going to change it. So I just get so annoyed. But I'm just going, oh my god,
They're slowly going to get rid of the umpires.
What about the players?
The only goal umpire who's holding strong, like holds fat as a true goal umpire, is
I know who you're going to say.
What's his name?
David Roden.
David Roden. Yeah. He's the he has the cheesiest grin on his face.
Yeah, he's always happy. And he was a gun. Because my girlfriend was saying, "Oh yeah, do you like this goal umpire?" I'm like, "Bloody oath, he's confident and all that." And I'm like, "But he was a gun player too. Yeah. Like he was electric." So I've always got a soft spot for him.
The footy show reviews, and he'd always be
He's always been. I think he went on Dancing and
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, he was a contestant on that. But yeah, that was the big topic.
And he had a smile on his face in Dancing with the Stars as well. It's the same smile that he has.
He's a happy-going man. That's what he is. Loves his life 24/7.
I'd actually love to meet him.
Oh, so would I. Do you reckon he's
get him on the pod?
His cheek muscles would just be like so tough, and he's always smiling like this, and his face wouldn't be hurting anymore. It's just his usual frown.
It's just permanent,
but
just a permanent smile.
The other thing was the players on report, and you have Matt Crouch, so I guess you did have Butters. Well, you do have Butters and Crouch. Both similar actions. Both you probably thought were reportable, but only Crouch has got injured, which is your only pod, which hurts quite a fair bit. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Well,
do you see the difference, or do you think it's on
the actual suspension itself?
Yeah, like both of these actions.
There was a clear difference, but the only difference was that Crouch hit him head on, and Butters just kind of came in like Butters does, like a freight train, and just tried to pick up the ball.
He's fucked, isn't he?
And went to hip and shoulder, but clearly it was a not hip and shoulder, and clearly hit the head. But you could make the argument that was it Banfield?
Yeah.
He didn't get concussed, didn't really get hurt. Nothing came from it.
Nah, he got right up.
Low impact. What is that?
I think I was listening it today, but it really is just the choice of words and what. I think Michael Christian said because he had these hands on the ball and his first sort of intention was to get the ball. That's why Butters didn't get reported, which he did go first and he got him with his hip. But I mean, they're still both, hitting their head. And I think it was a lot harder, the reporting. Didn't Sam Powell-Pepper get 4 weeks? Yeah, he got 4 weeks. So I don't think
he missed the start of the season. He's just coming back.
Not even back yet. Yeah,
this week.
He did, yeah. So I didn't watch that game, but yeah. I think I'm happy as a non-owner, but I don't think the AFL wanted someone like Butters to miss a Brownlow on that, and that's why I thought he was a little bit protective. But that's protected. I just feel like, I feel like that's. And
there's a little bit of that in there. I think,
I think so. Because it's a little bit petty to get rubbed out for that.
Won the his best season of his life, and he got rubbed out for a call like that, then the AFL would probably have a lot of people coming down on them, just
We'll get on to our sort of results for the week. Do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah. Let it rip on yours first.
All right.
Do you want to jump into the cherry on top first?
Sure. Yeah.
Jump into the cherry on top league. We need to speak about this. Share your screen, and I'll chuck us up, and chuck the cherry on top league up as well. We'll go over your score in a sec.
No, that's all right. This guy's smashing me anyway.
The cherry on top league is starting to become like a running joke now. Like, we're trying so hard to get it to just win once, and we just can't do it. We just suck so bad. I don't think we'll ever win one, but we're still going to keep trying. And this bloke on top, Benji, is absolutely cooking right now.
Yeah, because I was looking at his team last night because he finished. I think I came second in the whole our sort of floating league, but he's in a great position. He's got nearly every forward you want. I mean, not forward. I mean, the forwards he's got 5, which is handy. But the backman, you know, you've got Houston, Ryan, and Sheasel.
He obviously traded out Dacos.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't see. That's the one thing I didn't notice. Yeah, so that, I mean, Dacos is cheap as chips now as well. So it'd be
hasn't really hurt anyone.
No, well, he's still in. I think he's ranked 2,305. So I think there's 50 points between us, me and him. So it just shows how, you know, the difference in sort of spots. But like Butters, Bont, Green, Steele, Yo, all good. He got on Sharp. I hope that's a starting pick and not a trade in at 200K. But I wanted to pick Sharp so bad. We had him in our teams I reckon all the preseason, you and me, we were so big on him, and we chose this dickhead Jai Clark or Lazaro ahead of him. Like, and that's just good. You know, you back Sharp in. I mean, he's gonna get to maybe, what's his break even? He's got the internet's so slow. It's not loading.
Yeah. Let me help you out here. Sharp's break even is fucking -7.
-7. I think it's because I'm showing this. But yeah, he's got Marshall and Gawn. There it is. It's slowly loaded. Marshall and Gawn, who I think is R1 and R2. And then he had Heaney, Powell, just basically the common sort of forward line. So
he's got such a... I'm riding high
what
on
his
this
trades are. Oh, hopefully go, if you could message us your trades, because we're fascinated by. I reckon. I think it was maybe Jason Laycock. Maybe didn't he have a good team as well?
Have a look. Let's have a look at it.
We're really showing off how
for all the Spotify listeners. Cooksy is clicking the name, and the internet just isn't working with him. Let me. Do you want me to flick it up?
Sure.
Let me just go like this. Present share screen. So what we're saying, Justin Laycock had a good team.
Jason Laycock, I'm pretty sure has a good team.
Jason Laycock. Let's have a look. See, is that easier to see like that?
So he's got basically the same team as the other old mate. They've got Dacos in there. Oh no, he's got McGovern. He's got McGovern, which hurts. So I'll just quickly speak on McGovern. I reckon with the inclusion, Witherden obviously hurts his scoring potential. And then Duggan's like having a decent season. So I was really loving the pick until when I watched him yesterday, and he wasn't taking he was taking like barely any of the kick-ins. And I feel like I thought he was going to push top 6, but I don't know if he's going to push that if his role is anything like what it was last week.
Yeah, because he's got such an interesting. Yeah, I agree. This team is in like an interesting point as well, because I mean you've got Bontempelli, you've got Green, you've got Steele. I feel like
and he's got
kind of Dacos, who probably slots into here. Looks like you're really lacking like in this midfield a little bit. Don't have those absolute killers.
And have a look at his forward line. He's still carrying Fisher, Sexton, and he's got English, which hurts. Like, I hope he didn't trade him in straight away, because I do know a couple of people that traded English in at around 700k. So,
I was looking at English's price projections. It looks like he might get below 600k. Like he'll get to like 580k, 590.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, but I think it depends what you want to do with Grundy. I guess you're not going to trade Grundy if he's playing this week, but you can wait for English, or you can just get Rowell and see, what the stats are like. But I think Sam Darcy is really hurting Tim English's CBAs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. At the moment, and then we'll talk on it later, but at the moment, I think I'm more inclined to hold Grundy until he's by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah, but
hopefully he bounces back too, because he's been average as the whole season.
Yeah, and we've just missed blokes coming in second. Red Army, ranked 3,251. We won't leave you out. We'll get you in. Now, he's got a pretty good midfield as well. He's got Sarong and Steele. Oh, you notice there's a big theme about everyone who's in the top at the moment. Everyone has Steele. You know what I mean?
And you're still fading him, mate. You're still fading him.
I'm going to continue to fade him, I think. Something I want to talk about.
Did you want to get onto your team first, seeing you have it open?
We can do my team. Before we do that, I'll quickly read out the cherry on top to start. This week's cherry on top, we're still trying to make it so we can win. So the odds are down at $5. So you can win $28 if it gets up. And I swear to God, if the cherry on top gets up this week, I'll do something exciting for the pod. There's something good's going to happen. There's going to be party.
I'm at the game too. I think I'm going to go to the game. So I'll be eager. I'll be cheering the players on, and if it gets up, I'll be running after the game and just telling them that you've done it for the one-eyed pod.
You did it for us. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
This week's cherry on top is Lockie Schultz, anytime goal scorer. Charlie Dixon, anytime goal scorer. John Noble, 15 or more. Tom Mitchell, 20 or more. Ollie Wines, 20 or more. Nick Dacos, 25 or more. And Connor Rozee, 25 or more. I'm skeptical about this 25 or more for Connor Rozee now. Anyway, lads, that's the cherry on top for this week.
Look,
let it rip.
My opinion has always been Collingwood. Like there is, Butters is right there on the screen. He could go ballistic against us, but we don't really care about what any mid does. So I think having a player 25 more at Collingwood is safe. Like, just look what Lachie Neale did to us. Absolutely bullied us. But yeah, get onto your team, brother.
So this week I went 2019. I went up 5,000 spots and I'm ranked 8,334. I'm pretty happy with this rank so far, seeing as I've been pretty conservative with my trades. But yeah, pretty good week for myself. Happy to be around this mark at around, what are we, round 5 now? And there's like 200 points between like the top 1K and me or something like that. So it's just a one captain score launches you into there. But it does hurt not having these big guys like Jack Steele in your team when I could have got him twice now, and this is going to be the third time. But I'll jump into my team. So this week, for all the Spotify listeners, Luke Ryan, just very happy with this pick. He went 145. Could have very easily done that last week.
And he's going
looks
up
solid.
again, the fucking idiot. I don't
He's
think I'll
going
be
up.
ever. I won't be able to get him ever.
He's probably going to keep going up. Probably get to 700k from the looks, because he's got West Coast, then Bulldogs, then Richmond. So,
he's got to look at that. Oh my god! Sorry for that high voice, but seriously, he's 700k. He's going to be 700k this whole season. They projected him, and I actually don't disagree with it. This is crazy.
He does have his down games though, but his role right now is insane.
I love you, Michael, but I'm really hoping for a bad game just because
Don't say that. I never hope for a bad game for your players.
I know, but this is a D1 that we're talking about that is easy. Like, we look at Stewart dropping off, and Stewart he can't get to Luke Ryan's levels. Luke Ryan is unstoppable right now. He's just the best. He's clear D1. Oh, maybe Sheasel might give him a run.
Sheasel went 160 this week, you silly duck.
I know, but Luke Ryan pisses out 145s like it's nothing.
Yeah, well, he actually played a very good game to get this.
Yeah,
like he carried them in that last quarter. So
I feel like he's improved as a footballer as well. I always thought he was just a junk footballer that gets those easy marks, and he still does that. But I feel like he's been more demanding. Had to play a more demanding role. Which has probably got him a little bit more points as well because it's more contested marks and all that kind of stuff. But he does have a monopoly on the kick-ins. But yeah, great pick.
He does.
I'm
you know
really
what the best
jealous.
part was? The best part was, like, when the ball got kicked down there, I was pretty confident that no matter what, he was going to mark it. And he did every time. But the best part about that game was that in that last quarter, Port Adelaide were pushing hard. So you had players like Butters just racking up the pill, slaughtering through the middle, going for kicks, and he's kicking it to Ryan. And I was sitting there going like this. So I had a beer in my hand with the biggest smile on my face, just drinking, watching, going Butters to Ryan, Butters to. I was like, this is always great viewing.
It always makes me feel happy, but not really happy. But just at least your player has got a kick and a clanger, and if it has to go to one of your other players on the other team, you're like, all right, well that's good because it'll equal itself out.
Yeah, like you didn't watch the game, but there was a point in the last quarter where Butters got it from the back line and just turned and burned and literally outran everyone, just bouncing the ball through the center. And I'm like, kick the goal, son. Run into their forward 50, went to kick the goal and just missed, kicked the point. And then I was like, fuck. And then Ryan picked up the ball for the kick in. I was like,
yes. Can we stop talking about Luke Ryan, please? Because, oh my God, I'm getting jealous.
Harry Sheasel went 153. Is it Harry? Yeah, Harry Sheasel went 153. D'Ambrosio 94. Now, Massimo D'Ambrosio, I'd love you to chime in on these because you have a lot of these players as well. This is a great score. Happy for the man, but I am considering trading him out. Or I think I will trade him out next week.
Next week?
Yeah, he's in my trade plans to boot him. I don't think
it's bad. I think we've been blessed with cash gen, obviously, with all these picks that we have. And he's probably going to be the one that's cherry ripe to go. I think probably it's either this next week or the week after. Because Houses reset his cash gen, so I guess one's got to go, and you got to upgrade to someone. And you can easily swap Dacos in there or Roberts and Martin as well. So he's occupying one of those spots. Yeah,
I'm actually thinking of. I will boost next week, and it's. I'm going to tell you my plan later, but. Like a lot of these back players can go out this week because there's a lot of DPPs about to be thrown around. Like heaps. So yeah, Massimo Williams is good. It's like he's improving every week. It's like he's slowly getting fitter and fitter.
Yeah, it's just his first halves which are an issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, his second halves. He starts off well, then fades out.
I'm really happy with Howes getting the 62. He had an outstanding first quarter.
Yeah, and then but he had a few clangers. So
he's the clanger king, I reckon. Every time he gets the ball, in my head I'm like, just pass it to someone, just fucking kick it to someone. Closey, what do you reckon about this man?
Unreal.
Where's it, Clohesy?
I think it's
Closey. Closey. Okay, yeah, go.
I think so. But I've had a look at his stats. I missed this game as well. But I did watch the replay and I was watching his score pretty regularly, and I saw that he had about 18 touches or something and 2 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Am I just overreacting? But I haven't seen a heat map, so this is really not the greatest sort of view on him. But is he getting a bit lucky with his scoring? It doesn't really matter because we all have him and we want him to do really, really well. But I feel like with 18 touches, isn't it? Isn't that what he had? I'm pretty sure.
Here's his 18 touches, yeah.
Scoring 124, that would be, I guess, what he's really doing, and I'll have to look into it.
It just looks like a classic wing role, like he's just playing.
Yeah, he must be getting a lot of score assists. He must be getting a lot of score assists as well for that to for his score to go rocket up like that.
And this is the week before.
Yeah, and the week before, 124, 18 touches, 8 marks. So the marks are the big thing for him, I reckon. And he's always got a goal in him. So I guess that's a cheeky player to put in your multi, I reckon. He's looked fantastic. And his break even is negative 174. He's beaten Errol from 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago.
He's got to score 57 and he makes 100K. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And he's going to be.
He could potentially make what's this? He could potentially make 150K this week just in one game.
That's crazy. And see, this is what I mean. You can cull players like probably Massimo next week if you need to, and get somewhere. We'll get another premo, all that jazz.
I feel like we've just got to stop. I feel like a lot of people are still a little bit in last year's mindset, but this year we have to get in the mindset of we can't fall in love with these people like Sanders and Roberts and McKercher and Dempsey. And Reed, we can't fall in love with them. We're just going to cut them off when we need to and get players in that we want in our final team because there's other cash coming,
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I've got some rookies jotted down at the end, but there's still a heap of them to come that show promise. And then we're also forgetting that it's the mid-season draft hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's where another rookie comes.
Let it rip. Let's start trading out players like McKercher and Sanders. Maybe hold on. I'm going to hold on to Roberts for.
I would love to get rid of Sanders this week. I just think Bevo has completely screwed him.
I heard that they said that they were going to sub out Sanders before the game even started.
Well, that was the rumor. That's what I told you. And that's why I had my Sanders on emergency in case he was sub. And then I thought, for me, just a rule: just put your bullies players as your first loop, just in case they get subbed out. Or their role changes because it's just you can't tell. But Riley Sanders, I think there was a stat or something like that he's been averaging 86 or something when he's played a full game. So that would be one of the best rookies we have right now. So I guess there is merit to just keep with him, and I highly doubt he gets subbed for the next few weeks. But you never know with Bevo. That's the rule of thumb.
Okay, and then there's Bontempelli, who went 73 this week. This would have to be, if there was anything more of a sign to just get a tattoo on your arm and to live by, it's just don't pay up for these 700K players. Just get the tattoo on your arm somewhere. Live by.
I mean, He's been pretty good so far.
He's been good, right?
Hasn't been
But for
great.
664K now, like he's going to go down again. You can pick him up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not untouchable. The reason I got him
None
in
of
is
them
because I'm
are.
like,
Yeah.
he's going to be near 700K all year, and I don't want to have to try get that money to get him. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Like you just nothing. You can't trust someone to just maintain their average. Look at this whole season.
Yeah.
Um,
Butters has been doing great. Like so surprisingly, every time I look at his score, I'm like, fuck, he's having the worst game in the world.
yeah.
He's gone 117, 175. This 98 was originally 108.
Yeah.
120, 130. Like he's actually doing great.
Yeah. He's been good. I was reading. He's not getting. I think Ken Hinkley's just rotating the midfield so frequently, but his mid time is still in the Blues. I think. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
Blues would be 58. He got bumped up to 68 CBAs, but Rosie is the exact same. Rosie has a little bit of an increase because God knows why. Maybe Ken's favorite is Connor Rose, which I was keen on,
Mm.
by the way. I was very hot on Rosie to. I think he would be a great pod to have in your team. It's just you can't have all of them, but
Wait, for all the
he's
Spotify listeners, real quick, it was Connor Rosé was at 73%. Butters was at 68.
yeah. Yeah, but that's their. None of them all have sort of 80s CBAs because there's Drew coming in there, there's JHF, and then there's Wines, which makes them so good, I guess.
I heard some crazy stat that like they are. I'm not gonna say the exact number, but they are easily the best centre bounce team in the year in their
Yeah,
league this year. Like they're
well,
just
they've got the
slaughtering
best.
centre
They got the
bounces.
best midfield. They got the best midfield by.
Yeah,
Well, I would say that all of them are young, um, and are coming into their prime.
yeah. I think Gold Coast would give them a run for their money.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
and yeah, I think Melbourne probably not at the moment with Clary being so
Yeah, but
down,
at the moment,
and Sydney probably just aren't at that level.
yeah, they're just getting carried by Heaney.
Literally. Sweet. I mean, Tom Green again. I didn't watch this game. Do you reckon you could? I try to not watch St Kilda games now.
I mean, Tom Green's just been a bit quiet. I would love to see how many clangers he's got, but he's just been a bit. He hasn't been his usual self.
Well, he'll
Um,
probably go below 500, 600K or at
because
the mark.
his stats are there, like 11 and 13. So what's that? 24 touches. So he's obviously had a few clangers, but I barely noticed him much when I was watching the game.
Too busy watching Steele. Hey.
I was too busy watching Steele, and I was too busy watching Rowan. But so I was very St Kilda focused
Nah,
the
you know
whole
what was
time. But Kieran Briggs,
Crooksy was too busy in his fucking bedroom just watching Steele going.
no, I was getting tattooed actually. I was getting tattooed, so I was in pain watching the Saints. But but then I guess I think Kieran Briggs isn't getting many taps. I think Kieran Briggs is out of form a little bit from what I was sort of.
He kind of looks like shit. Hey.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's a factor, but I mean, he's dropped off in the last 2 weeks. I just feel like Tom Green will be in that top 4 range. It's just really not happening with him. But the rucks have been hard. Like it's a harder, you know, matchup for Green, and we knew that because he had West Coast and he had North in the previous games, and then he had Collingwood to again leak points. So maybe Tom Green was overperforming a tiny bit, but I think he'll bounce back. He looks fit, and he just came off a bye, so he'll bounce back. I'm confident in him.
Listen to this stat.
He scored 109 last week, so yeah.
Kieran Briggs hit outs 13.
Yeah.
And then 25. and then 34, 20, 20. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that terrible stats for a ruckman? Like, what's a normal hit out amount?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person.
Let's just quickly look up Max Gorn and see what Max Gorn can do.
I think what the crucial stat is what hit outs to advantage.
Yeah, you're right.
And I don't
but just
think it's
but look, this is
39.
an example.
Yeah.
Max
Apparently
Gorn.
Briggs isn't a great tap ruckman.
Okay.
But look,
But neither is Gorn, apparently. Look at this.
Yeah, but he's still got 51 taps, 39, 50.
Yeah, he's having some up ones.
He's been insane. Anyway. Tom Green will bounce back. You can be confident in that.
Oh, yeah, I'm not scared. Touk Miller doing what... This should have been, mark my words, this should have been 140 plus, nearly 150. He was the highest score on the ground, absolutely slaughtering. Was on about 120 at 3/4 time. And then just the whole quarter got taken off and was just on the bench. I thought he was injured. They must have just been resting him.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's obviously not in the CBAs as much as he was a couple of years ago, but he's still finding the football, which is a good sign. But does that worry you a little bit? Or for people trying to trade in Touk Miller, should they go there?
I probably, if I was going to pick between the two, you could probably go for a Rowell just because he's going to be playing in the middle. But I mean, like, he's still having, I don't know, decent amount of CBAs. I'm not really scared about it. I mean, since Will Graham's come into the side, he's had a little bit, like, his CBAs have kind of gone down a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I said that on the pod last week.
Oh, is that what you said?
Well, I said that he's got Will Graham has got a lot of CBAs, so he's obviously been shifted for Flanders. So Flanders has gone behind the footy.
Yeah, but like I'm not too concerned. Like he's still scoring well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And still finding the footy, and like he's getting 64% CBAs. Like Butters is doing the exact same type of shit. But he's not a concern for me to trade out. Like I'm not getting rid of
him.
Yeah. Crouch. Oh, sorry, I traded in Nick Martin this week. I don't think I should have gone Nick Martin. I think I should have traded out Massimo and got in Steele.
Yeah.
But it's okay. You know, that's the second time I've missed Steele.
I've told, well, it doesn't. I mean, we may as well talk about it now. You fading Steele. I mean, we'll see your trade periods, your trade plans, at the end of the pod, or not the end of the pod, or just this segment. If you fade Steele again, I might have to go up to Sunny Coast and belt the fuck out of you. Seriously.
I'm going to... Last week you told me to go Nick Martin.
Well, Nick Martin actually looked like he was D4 or D1. But, I mean, this is going to be one of the last chances that Steele is sort of catchable. And he's at a good price. I'm just loading my screen now, but he's at 624, still cheap, got a great run, and he's got a 70 break even. It's now or never. It's now or never with him.
I still think I'm going to anti-pot him. I'm just going to...
I can't believe it.
Just not go for him.
I'm going to have to...
Hear me out. I don't think I really need to talk about the forward line. Like we all know what's happening forward line. That we talk about trades. So this week,
I mean, we'll get to it in a minute. But did you want to give your Imagine and Stallion of the week?
Oh, yeah, Imagine of the week. Imagine of the week. Who was I just pissed? Oh, Imagine of the week was Crouch. This guy.
Yeah, that's why I led into it.
I'm just sick of it, honestly, because he's obviously just slaughtering when he's out there, but sometimes he's just not on the ground. All the Adelaide supporters hate him. reckon he's the root of all evil. And he was looking really good at the start, just popping 120s. But now I'm kind of just in the mindset of he's probably got too much cash on his head where I could just trade him out for an Uber Primo. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to wait.
Wow.
You know? And Stallion of the week goes to Luke Ryan.
Yeah, we've discussed him at length. I mean, get into trades. I want to see him. I think.
So my trades this week.
I don't think it's bad to get rid. I don't think it's bad to get rid of Crouch. I just think you could hold, and he's a better hold than Wines and all that kind of stuff. But imagine if they win, right? Adelaide, and they go, holy shit, Crouch was the root of all our problems, you know, and they don't bring him in ever again. And you wouldn't lose out. It's only 1 week, but that would be funny. That would be really funny.
You know what my thing was last year, and it's still this year. Just cut heads when they need to be cut. Just get rid of people. No waiting. No holding.
That's worked well for us so far, hasn't it? Getting rid of all these players.
If you fuck with me in my team and piss me off 2 times in a row, you're done. You piss me off 2 times in a row, done. So right now, right, I go Will Graham.
Mm-hmm. Lock.
If you don't know him. Tell me one time throughout this whole season that I can do 2 trades to Merret.
You are right.
Just tell me when I can go 2 trades.
I mean,
Merret.
The question is, does that 40k mean much to you?
What do you mean?
Well, Steele's 40k cheaper. So
it doesn't.
I think you got to exactly. So that's your answer.
So, but this is why. Now I'm thinking about this, right?
Yeah.
So this is my antipod to Steele. Like this is if Steele goes this, Merret, I want you to back this up.
Yeah.
Merret is versing Adelaide. Let me show you. Yeah. And I think everyone knows this. Adelaide to midfielders round. Let's go this week. Sam Walsh, 166 acres, 160 Cripps, 110. All right, let's go the week after. Adelaide to Melbourne. Petrarca, 140. Do you want me to keep going? They just leak points to midfielders. Okay, so Merret this week is going to go ballistic.
Cheeky vice captain as well if you want to do it.
Very cheeky vice captain. So, and then he's got Collingwood, Anzac Day, ballistic.
Late
West
points.
Coast, ballistic. GWS, the skeptical. North Melbourne, Richmond, like Carlton. Then he's got West Coast again. Like, what more do you want me to show you of why I'm going to go for this guy? The only reason, and now let's go look at Jack Steele. Now, I'm not saying Jack Steele is not going to do the same sort of things. I think he probably will, and I'm actually really scared about it. He's got a good run as well. The only thing I'm scared of for Jack Steele...
He's got North and West Coast twice.
...is this 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. If I can catch Jack Steele, and I'll pay like $660 for him, $670, I'll pay that for him around the buys.
Yeah, when you got 3 trades.
He will come into my team. He's definitely going to come into my team. My plans are, if I can save these 3 boosts for the buy period, I'm just going to stack as much cash as I can next week. And then in round 7, I'm going to trade into Petrarca, who is going to be at...
He's going to be around 590 mark as well.
Yeah. So Petrarca will be around 5. Yeah. And then he'll be at like 590 or so. Like, look, he can even get down to 580. So I'm going to target Petrarca. So then my midfield will look like Merret, Bont, Butters, Steele, Took, and Petrarca.
Unless he scores 156 against Richmond, which is highly possible.
It is possible, but like
Hopefully
I can still easily pay. The highest I can pay for him is around 630.
Yeah, still a bargain, to be honest.
Yeah, so then I get in track. The same situation can be said if I get Steele. But if I get Steele this week, then I can't get Merret till buys. And I think I want Merret before Steele this year.
Yeah. I mean, I traded out Wines, my sort of pod, sort of mids, and I can't remember where I traded. I got Whitfield instead. So I didn't I feel like what you've done is actually upgrading to a better player, which is positive for you and it will help you climb up the ranks. I just hope there's just always danger with these high priced players. But I don't think there's any sort of evidence of Merret slowing down whatsoever.
What do you think? What do you think that I should go Steele over Merret?
I mean, still, so because I saw that you had 40K in the bank, already, so that would mean you have 80K if you go Steele. So I just guess you got to factor in, like I said originally, does that 40K matter? And that 84K may help you get someone else, but I think you're trading in a star anyway in Merret, and you've been hot on him every single time. When we both said to each other, Merret is just, I don't think he'll drop much at all. If anything, he might drop to 650, his starting price, but he's got through his hardest run, so he could go to Narnia.
The only reason why I'm leaning, if Petrarca wasn't dropping down and I had to look at other players, I would happily go Steele, and then I would be looking at to save that money here and go for other players. But because my next target is Petrarca, then Sarong, and then probably Steele, then I'm happy to just chuck Merret in now because this is probably the only opportunity I get to get him.
I don't think it's bad at all. I mean, Merret, not many people are going to have Merret, so I like it quite a lot. And you still got 40K. You got 40K in the bank anyway, so it's not like you've stuffed yourself and made yourself go broke.
Yeah. The only problem is this week, and I said it last week, I've cooked myself because I can't fill this spot no matter what. I'm going to have one of these guys on the bench.
You got one of those dead rookies.
Yeah.
Who did you trade? Right. Sorry? Who did you trade? McKercher?
Yeah, McKercher. I traded out.
That can't work with Howes?
Nah, it can't. I don't think so.
That means you should go Steele then. You can probably achieve that doing Steele, but I feel like you're right. Yeah. Yeah. McKercher won't play. That's the whole thing, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I could go like this and then get.
Yeah. So you just can't get Merret. Yeah, but Howes has got it. Howes has reset his cash gen, like we said earlier.
Yeah. I mean, this is only for 1 week, and it's best 18 this week.
That's it. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I'm not too worried.
Yeah.
And then next week, Howes and Massimo are going to go, I think. Or Lazaro or Massimo, one of them. All three, actually. I'm going to boost triple down.
Not triple down.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Oh, no, double down. Sorry, double down, not triple down.
I was going to say triple down. Triple down when there's... Oh, there is a couple of rookies on the bubble. But...
I'm going to double down. I'm going to go Nugent and I haven't worked it out yet.
Do you want me to jump on?
Yeah, jump on. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. I'm like, you've obviously backing in Merret. there is a risk at his price, 666, but there's been no. He's going into his purple patch in his run, so if anything, he's going to increase in price. And he's been the only reason why he scored 108, I think, last week is because his disposal efficiency was a little bit off. So he's crazy. He when you watch the games, he's on 30 5 minutes into the game. So and I owned him last year. It's going to be. I have Steele this last. You know what I mean? Like last year, you had Steele and I had Merret. We've just swapped the roles.
I hope to fucking God that I don't have the. I hope to God that Merret isn't Steele last year.
But Merret's. I reckon I've owned Merret probably nearly every SuperCoach for years. I think there was maybe a time where I faded him for Parish, and he's always been really solid. So I cannot say a bad word about Merret. He's probably one of my favorite SuperCoach options in the game. So yeah, highly rate the pick.
All right, mate. Let it rip on us. cCosehy is launched. We have liftoff, baby.
Oh yeah.
We have liftoff.
So today, well, not today.
Wait, one sec. Wait, I need to do this. Oh yeah, cCosehy has liftoff. This is terrible music. One sec. This one. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby, lift off.
Well, yeah. Yes, well, this round I scored 2,117.
Wait. Do I have any more? No. Oh, here we go. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it. All right, mate. All right. I was only ranked 700. Baby. Do you reckon like I won the bloody 2,500 or 2,000, the round winner thing?
No, but you know what it is?
Yeah.
You've gone up 10,000 spots, but and you 778. Like, yeah, we're slowly getting into what our team.
Our aim is top 1K, but yeah, I scored 2,117. All 7 league wins, which is nice to see, and sitting at 3,678 ranks, so a 10K jump. I will. Everything basically worked for me. I have this similar sort of defense to you, or backline, where I got Sheasel, Dakes, but Dakes didn't play because cCosehy was an emergency. Then I had Whitfield. I mean, I don't mind the Whitfield pick, but I feel like he doesn't get as many points as he probably should.
Do you reckon he's like 5 disposals away from like 60? Not 60, but like more like 80. Like 90s or something.
I think he'll definitely rack up the ball, but I feel like he's a few clangers away for a bad score. But I mean, he's 87. He had 30, and he was off for a quarter. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad pick, and I like watching him. Yeah.
This is exactly what I was saying, and this is what I was scared of with Martin. And I remember telling you, I was like, there's some players who have to get 40 disposals to get 130. And then there's some people who can fucking fall asleep at full back like Luke Ryan and shoot out a 110 every game without thinking about it.
Yeah.
And we want the Luke Ryans.
There was sometimes he was just kicking it without playing on, which is just such a pet peeve for SuperCoach. Because you want them to play on just 1 meter outside the square. That's all we need. But I mean, he scored 109. I feel like it was a 130 on the table, but it wasn't that type of. It was a bit weird, maybe because it was in Canberra. But he still got 30 touches, and he's a ball like he gut runs everything. So you can't question his effort. So maybe that's just him. He'll just get over the line. because he's always an injury concern, obviously. But no, he's all right. But I was just a bit let down. I had Massimo Williams as well. Massimo, happy with that. 2 weeks, maybe hold him and just let him have just a 50k rise. Get on to the mids. So I had
Hey, you
Bonds.
forgot about cCosehy that you had on the bench accidentally.
No,
Tell us about the roller coaster.
No, it wasn't. So my original trades coming in, I had 2 trades that I had in my head. It was Meek in, I think it was Meek and who was the other one? Meek and Nick Martin, and no boost required. Or I boost and I get Rowan, cCosehy, and the other one is Martin as well. So I think I got rid of. I can't remember who I actually got rid of. I think I would have got rid of Grundy. Gee whiz. It doesn't even matter. They're all gone. I really can't remember my trades. That's how big those trades were.
I can tell you who you did. You did Grundy out, Rowan Marshall in. Then you got out.
Who did I get out?
Lazaro.
No, Lazaro's here. It would have been. Oh God, this is embarrassing.
You got some bloke out. History. Does that help? For the SuperCoach, to the Spotify listeners, we're looking at history. Crooksy can't find anything besides his shit awards he's got. There we go.
Trade history. Oh, here we go. So this is what I did.
How good is this?
So I got out. I don't ever want to look below, because if I look round 3, 2, 1, I'm gonna get embarrassed about sideways trading that I did. Maybe that's something we'll do at the end, when after the buys. But
we'll go and cry about it.
We did that last year. So yeah, I went Pink, Jordan, and Grundy out for Marshall, cCosehy, and Martin. So I only had 2 boosts remaining, but I looked at English's score, and I was like, well, I could go one or 2 ways. I could get Meek and wait for English, or I could try and capitalize and get Marshall in, and get 60 points ahead. Or I was thinking he might go 20 points more, but I feel like that's really what made my week so solid, is having that ruck. And I guess I looked at Meek and he scored an 80. Fortunate for people that went for Meek that Reeves actually got injured in the VFL, so his job security is really solid. But I'm just happy that I've locked in a ruck now and I don't have to spend another trade anyway. So I guess I used the boost and I only have 1 remaining, but I feel like cash gen, I'm really set up overall. So
I feel like
it was well worth it. It was well worth it.
Kind of paid off a lot. Like, you would hate to have used that boost and Rowan Marshall went 90 and like cCosehy just went to shit and Martin went to shit. Like, you used the boost and you gained 10,000 spots. You know what I mean?
Even the other way. My original plan was Meek and old mate Martin, but that would have meant that I would have missed Rowan, which is 40-point loss, and then I would have missed cCosehy, which is a 40-point loss in itself because he scored 100. Well, it's maybe a 60-point loss, really.
And you probably wouldn't have been here today. We probably would have quit the pod.
No, I would have been happy with Meek, because given he was on 53 at halftime, and I was just like to you, please don't slow down, Lloyd. Like, bloody hell, you really. That was the ticket.
We were like, but just stop it. Just stop. And he stopped. Apparently
exactly.
He
did stop. Yeah, he got hurt. He was on the bench quite a fair bit. But that's all right. I guess. Yeah, I've got Butters and Green. Steele, I've got Steele. I started Steele. I backed him in, and it's just so good to watch. Like, a few of my picks just pay off like really well. Because it looks like a different man. Got tipped that this St Kilda man Steele looks a lot different to last year, and I just thought I just got to get this man in. I'll ride the wave. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And he's looked dangerous. He's looked so good. It's not funny. So I think he would be. Oh, I can't give him my stallion because I'll go on to the next one. Big old Elliot Yo. I mean, I was watching this game. Came home from preseason matches, and I'm that addicted to watching Elliot Yo. I've watched every single West Coast game, and I reckon quarter time because they were down by 25 points or 19 points. I'm going, West Coast are the worst team I've watched in years, absolute years. And like Yo was on 2 for about 5 minutes left of the quarter, or maybe he was on about 4, and then he just went absolutely ballistic. He was kicking goals. He kicked 2 goals. Like, what was going on? And we joked about it on the pod last week. We need to captain this guy against Richmond because Richmond is just a bunny team.
Yeah.
Imagine if, I did see the winner of SuperCoach, the weekly kind of score
Captain
or whatever. They captained Yo, which is absolute big kahunas. And I did see, by the
massive kahunas.
Two teams were eliminated from winning the reward because they built their teams to try and win it around round 3-ish. Yeah. So that's a thing to watch out for because I swear all of last year that's what was happening. So I guess it gives us a little bit of hope, us SuperCoach, maybe we can actually win that award eventually. But
I think a lot further in the year it starts to be a lot like, I don't know, a lot more of like a prized thing. Like if you win it at the start of the year, it's just pure luck. But if you're going into like the back half, then it's like, okay, you've got some solid teams here.
Exactly. But this could have been a 170 score. This was it wasn't annoying because he already got to 150, but he had 2 frees against and gave away a 50 in a matter of 2 minutes at the end of the game. But it didn't destroy his score so much because he still ended up on 157. But he had a dangerous tackle and told Nick Boston that he was flopping and he was pointing in his face, like got in his face and pointed at him.
Do you reckon he's done?
Nah, I don't think. Well, nothing's come from it, so I don't think he's. A lot of people were saying. I reckon it was a lot of non-owners saying that he should get suspended. Let me put it.
Get him out of here. I hope he does.
He's looked unreal. I mean, we'll talk about him in a minute. But there is danger to selecting him, and I think he is quite heavily traded in this week. I don't see any issue with it, but I mean, I feel like it's a pick you had to start. He can, I can easily. He's going to get to 590k soon. And if he gets injured, I can sideways him, which it's not a loss for me because I started. But if people are trading him in, there is a very high. There's a much higher risk. Let's be honest.
Massive risk.
Would you? Exactly. You wouldn't trade him in, would you?
I don't think I'll trade him in. I have looked at it, but like for me at the moment, there's bigger fish to fry. But
exactly.
And I kind of don't like he's gonna go nuts. I think he's
playing his career best.
Yeah, that he's going to go. He's probably going to continue this, maybe fade out towards the back half of the year, just because body is probably going to slowly start giving way. But
yeah, he might get managed as well. We got to factor that in.
Yeah, but like he could very easily just like go, see ya. And if you trade him in this week and then next week he goes, see ya, you aren't going to be like, fuck. You're going to be angry that Yo's done, but at the same time, it's not going to be devastating for you. For people who just traded him in, that hits hard.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, I mean, I'm never going to get this, but if someone was to try and tell me that you've only liked Yo since he's 157, I would just say that's bullshit. I've loved Yo ever since he burns me last year and ruins my season basically when I traded him in with about 3 trades left or 4 trades left. And he played a great game. I bragged about him the following week he gets injured and he's out for like about 6 or 8 weeks. So this
If
is
anyone
this
has
is
said that
talking.
you just liked Yo, look at our last fucking 4 thumbnails. It's
I
all
know.
Yo.
I know, but I get and like I don't know if you get like this with players, but like now I see all the people jumping on and I'm like, oh no, like this, just don't jump on, just leave me and Elliot, in peace, and just let him,
Let us do our
let
thing.
him, yeah, just let him do his thing. He's obviously doing well with just me on him now. I'm bloody 5k trades in. I think he's getting up to We'll just quickly look at it.
Yeah, have a look.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Good. Oh, 3K trades in. So that's actually not that bad. I mean, people are obviously scared of his durability.
Can you look up Merret's traded in this week?
Sure.
Because if he goes
Shit.
nut. Oh, sorry, I'm just completely changing the subject. Go back to Yo.
No. That's all right.
Only thing I was thinking, like, fuck, if he goes nuts this week, surely he goes up in price.
Oh, he's got a 134 break even.
Yep.
I'm just doing it.
So if anything, he just stays the same price. Maybe he goes down a little bit. Don't worry about it. Continue. Keep telling us about your team.
He's had 544 trades in.
Oh, that's a good stat.
Yep. Yeah, about other than that, Jai Clark, he is my Imagine of the week. I've hated this pick. He wasn't even on my field. It wasn't even on my field.
Oh my God.
I have hated this bloke. He's got to be. Look, he might be a great bloke. Like if he's ever listening, or people of Jai Clark, and you want to defend him, I'm not defending the type of bloke he is. I'm just really I'm abusing his footballing ability right now. He came on last quarter, 10 minutes, 15 to spare. It might have been even more than that. I didn't see him once. Score reflects that. But whenever I've watched him before the games, like round 4, round 3, all the previous rounds, he's been so weak inside the midfield, and just this could have been such a better rookie, and he's got to be he is got to be the worst rookie I've ever sort of had.
I honestly
and I've
can't
had bad
believe you
rookies.
let it go
I've had
for
bad
so
rookies.
Long. I can't believe you've let it go for this long.
Well, you have him in your team, don't you?
I traded him out round 1.
What?
Silly dog. Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I thought Clark was in your team all along. I've just thought Clark. Oh, this is a joke.
Trade history. I'll tell you what round I traded him out.
I mean, I had bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I traded him out round 1, like literally after round 0.
Right. Well.
Oh no! Sorry, round 2 after round 1, I traded him out. Clark,
and who did you get
Fisher.
in? Who did you
and
get in?
I got in D'Ambrosio, Billings, and Berry.
Not good.
Not good.
So did I. I got Berry for someone. It wouldn't have been anyone good because I didn't. This is the thing. I feel like my team is in a great position, but I feel like maybe teams will catch up to us. We're just got to sort of pick out value now and decide what Ubers we want to pay for. But we didn't.
What do you mean catch up to me? Mate, I've hardly used any trades.
You're on 27, aren't you? 28 or 29.
Is that a low amount of trades?
No, it's fine.
I've got I'm on 30 trades at the moment.
Right, so you're 2 ahead of me.
Yeah. And I still got 3 boosts.
So so you're
in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, the rookies. You still have a couple of dead rookies on your field.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, I traded in Dempsey and a couple of rookies to just try and fix it up a little bit, and that's what I'm probably going to do this week again. But if we started those rookies,
Yeah.
It'd be a different story because if we started the rookies, it would have been fine to trade out Young and Martin and bring back Martin. But I feel like but I feel like everyone did the same thing, and the extra sort of 5 trades or whatever it was, 4 trades.
Hmm.
That's given us sort of a platform to try and improve our team a little bit, even though we're not really improving it. We've just blown the 5 trades, in all honesty.
Kinda. We kind of have.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It shaped us to the people we are today.
Yeah, well, I've learned to just stop being so reactionary, and I'll just next time my players put in some stinkers, I'll just let them have 3 stinkers in a row, not 2, because
You
that's
can't say that though, because if you let someone have 3 stinkers in a row, then you're losing cash.
I know. So
It's
it was a
2
perfect play to
stinkers.
get rid of Young, but oh well, I wish I went him instead of Martin, if I'm being honest, but I don't like the look of him. And when I was watching him, I wanted to punch my TV. So
You
I
want to know
wasn't going to
something?
do that to myself.
You want to know something?
What?
Recently, I've been doing my final team kind of things that I've been making who my final teams and what points I want to trade them in. Hayden Young's coming in back into my team. He's coming in.
Well, I can actually boost Hayden Young in right now, but I'm not going to do it.
Why would you boost him? I would not boost him in.
Nah.
You know when you want to get Hayden Young in for all the Spotify listeners?
Yeah.
The first week of buys is Port and Fremantle.
Yeah.
Now, Port and Fremantle have
It might be
very
600K
enticing
by
players.
then, though.
That's okay.
Yeah.
At that
So calm.
That's okay. At that first buy, if you have butters, sure, hopefully you have butters by then. There's 3 people you're gonna have to target. It's gonna be Sarong, Hayden Young, or Luke Ryan. This is when you're gonna have to get them.
Yeah.
Pick one. For me, it's either Caleb Sarong's coming into my team in that week or Hayden Young's coming to my team. I think I'll have Caleb Sarong before then. So I'm going to get Hayden Young in after that week.
Yeah.
But like that's what you got to look at, because if you need to save trades for this moment, because if you can trade majority of them 3 players in, then throughout that buy period, then you're going to be cruising a little bit, because these are some hectic buy period. Have you had a look at it?
Yeah. The first round, I'm pretty buggered because I brought in Whitfield, which I should have just brought in Young even back. But the first round I'm pretty cooked, but the others I think I'm all right. But this is the thing as well. I think we have to buy the people you're trading in, probably next week or so, that you really have to factor in, have you got 18 for each sort of round, just in case it doesn't bite you in the ass. And if you'd have to sacrifice 1 round, I think maybe you could do that. To, you know, if that's the way it is. But yeah, going back to Clark, I think I'm just going to trade him out. I think I might only do the 1 trade this week. And
one trade,
because I think I'm ahead now. So I think it's just going to be Clark down to old mate Graham and loop in McKercher for one of my mids. So yeah,
I don't hate that. I'm not going to go on Comben. I think it's a bit too expensive.
No, and here's the thing, right? So I've sort of mapped this out, and I guess we can have our rookie chat sort of discussion. But the Comben is good. He's playing key defense, sort of like backman. He would have been stuffed if Hawkins was playing, I reckon. I reckon he got pretty lucky that Hawkins wasn't playing. Although I only watched half of the game. But yeah, I think the one who I'm really keen on, and I could go early on, but the man that just arose last game, Blake Jury. Where was that the whole freaking season, you idiot? Seriously, I was watching that little squirt just plays best game of his life, and I'm like, hang on, he did that to me before. I've seen a few. Look at below.
Don't do it.
Look,
Don't do
look
it.
below.
I know.
Oh
I've
no,
seen.
he's not in there. Blake
I
Drury
know, but
was
I've
getting trading
seen
in.
lots
Oh
of
no,
people going Drury, and in my head, I just getting PTSD. Like, fuck
exactly.
this
I'm
Ranger.
not.
Like this
I don't think
Ranger.
I could ever, unless he goes really good. I'm really. I don't think I'll ever pick him, even though he's so cheap. But the one I'm really interested is Biggie Newen.
Yeah, same. He's more. He'll be
And,
out for Lazaro for me next week.
and I'm thinking of going early
You
because
are.
we've got. But I don't think. Well, he gives me a lot of cash,
Mhm.
and then I can go sort of use a boost by not using a boost, but doing 2 down and then 1 up, 1 down. 1 up, 1 down next week. I'll have sufficient cash that way.
Mhm.
But I think, or the plan was to either wait to use one trade this week and then use a boost again next week and get a big dog in that way. But I don't think I want to go early on this player. Like
No.
the Cullen Dawson or whatever his name is, who was key back for North, he's gone down with an ankle. So it was either Pink or him, and he's obviously got the role. So I think it's best to wait because there's another name here below. There's Hugo Garcia, who was sub, who was unreal. He was pretty much 38% CBAs when he came on. I'm pretty sure. So he does
Really?
have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
When did he get subbed on?
I think around 3/4 for Butler, the third quarter. So there's Garcia, and there's a real one that I really like. He only scored 55 last week, but my computer's not loading. But it's Kane McAuliffe for Richmond. I've heard so many Richmond players wrap this guy up, and it's like he's very cheap, and it's like this player is very close to footy, but every Richmond person that I've talked to, he's like, this guy's going to be an absolute jet. So there's heaps of injuries in Richmond, heaps of injuries. But I guess he's not one that you need to worry about this week because he's got the bye, but he's like some of those rookies that I'm thinking about next week. Maybe I should get. So is it worth going early on a biggie so I can afford the others? But I think you can't have all of these. We've just been so blessed.
Let's let it rip.
We're
back.
Where were we beforehand?
Blake Drury.
I mean, 78. I heard some commentator, I think it was Isaac Smith, or it was someone saying how good Blake Drury was going, and they've found a superstar. And I've gone, he's done this before last year. He promises, and then he doesn't perform.
He kicked the goal to get to this as well. And that goal was a fucking gimme as well. Like, he took a good mark, but it was like, come on, mate. You're never doing that again in your life.
Yeah. So, yeah, you got McAuliffe, Garcia, Comben. Just look up Comben for a sec. I mean, a lot of people are going him.
What are your thoughts on him? I think he's a little bit too expensive for me.
Like we said earlier, he's a key back. The ball's going to be down there a lot. I don't think he's taking many kick-ins. I haven't looked at that stat yet, which is a bit piss poor for me. But I think
I got it right here for you. I can tell you. So he didn't.
Yep.
He took one kick in and he didn't play on. What a tosser.
Yeah, that's it. So, I mean, he's just got to take bulk marks. I'm just not totally sold on him, and I think he's going to be a good option. I think he can make 150K. I just feel like Biggie, all the other ones that I mentioned, there's more possibility to, get that money and, stop paying for elevated rookies. I feel like we've done this the whole time. We've got Billings in, we've got Massimo in, we've got maybe...
And Massimo worked. Like, that was a good one.
That's it. So that's it. I guess, do you think he will be better than Massimo? That's the question that you got to ask. I mean,
Well, shout out to DR. He said something recently, and he's like, when this 129 is out of his system, then what?
Yeah.
Because he's already he'll be, so if he scores a 76 next week, he
You
goes to
kind of need him an 80
296.
average.
Yeah, he goes to 296. So then the 129's out of his system, and then what? Like, how much is he really getting from there? Like, are you getting cash out of him? And if you think you're going to trade him in, which I don't think so, as a player that's going to be on field scoring you lots of points, then I would say that's a terrible idea. And if you think he's going to be a cash cow and you think he's going to gain you those points, then go for it. But I just don't see it.
I think he can. I think he could probably score around the 75s purely because the ball's just going to be down there. And I actually don't mind him as a player. He was a very good player. He just got injured a lot, and that's the other thing that you got to factor in. He's broken. I think I read somewhere, and this may be very far fetched, but I think he broke over 20 or so bones. Like, he's injury prone.
Really?
Something crazy. I'll read it, but I know every time he's like broken a bone, when playing for North, like he did his knee. I remember he was flying. He did his knee. He's done shoulders. He's very injury prone.
That is
so I guess
crazy. Well, I heard that he's just constantly had a terrible run. And like, we'll end on this now.
Yeah.
I think that he's just had a terrible run with injuries, and he's just made it back.
Yeah, and I think he's a great player. I mean, not a great player, but an up and coming great player. He could be one.
And that kind of
choice words.
That kind of leads me into the thing. Like, what do you think of? Because he is like a 227K mark. Like, and there's a few more players that have come through this week. Like, Walsh has come through, and he's like that mid-price kind of option. And then you're kind of looking at the players like Stewart's dropping down there, and you've also got Trac that's kind of dropping down there. Like, what do you like? I don't think you can put Trac into the same category and Trac and Stewart in the same category as Walsh, but you kind of can. What do you think about them rather than just like paying for Merret, who is already at 650, or like a Luke Ryan?
I was looking into this, but you got Comben open just right now. But to end on that, like, to afford these players, you kind of have to sacrifice, even though he might be all right at 227K, that may eliminate you from upgrading to one of these values, or players like Trac or Stewart, or even a Merret at 666. So I feel like if you're wanting to get an Uber in, the better avenue is 623K rookie. But I was a bit bullish last week talking to you about Stewart. I saw he scored 108 last week. He's going to drop down to, I'm pretty sure off memory, it's 560K, or maybe even lower, 530.
So he's at 556 and then 557 if he scores 101 and 110. Like, he can clearly go over that. But
I think. So I've got one spot remaining, and I've got to decide whether I leave it for Luke Ryan or I just, get Stewart in.
What do you mean you got one spot remaining?
What, one defensive spot? So I've got Martin.
You already got your whole team.
For defense,
like defense. Oh, that's incredible.
But I haven't got any mids. So I may as well get a mid. But I mean, Petrarca, I never owned him last year. He absolutely killed me. He is a phenomenal player, just had one bad game. So I feel like he's good. I'd rather pick off the value, I think, than pay for an Uber right now. But that's probably because I've got a lot of boosts already. So I don't have that luxury to get him in. But I feel like the 575K players, there's so much value at the moment. You got your Hayden Young if you wanted to bring him back or never had him. He's around 550K. And then there's Sam Walsh, who I was massive on preseason, and you weren't massive on him. Did you, I guess, barring the injury and forget he had an injury, does your opinion still change on Sam Walsh?
Oh, he looks phenomenal. And I would be lying if I said if next week he puts up a 100 plus, 110, I would say. I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't going to get him in. I would get him in over Petrarca if he was, because then he was on the bubble. You know what I mean? And then I'd have and then maybe go for Petrarca. But,
do not go early on Sam Walsh. By the way, if I don't know, I don't know how many people are probably thinking that, but I know he scored a 166.
11,000 people.
Do not go early. Do not go early.
Nah.
He is every chance of getting managed. He's every chance of, these back injuries. It happened to me last year. Last year where I brought him in and he was on my bench for about 5 or 6 weeks because the hammies start to flare up once, there's sort of back involved. So that's like the danger of the pick, but he's just an ultimate professional, Sam Walsh. Like he's always been like that. So I don't
that's probably right. Hey, so you'd probably rather go for but trac, knowing that trac's just kind of is going to come into form no matter what.
Yeah, and there's no injury concern, but I guess he would be a great pod. But now he's in 11k teams. He's not really a pod, is he? But he looked phenomenal. But as he said, Adelaide are leaking points, so maybe let's just see GWS, very tough opponent.
Who's first in these people? Is that Walsh or trac?
Yep. Walshy boy.
So Walsh's run is for all Spotify listeners: GWS, Geelong, Collingwood, Melbourne, Sydney, Gold Coast. So it's not an amazing run.
It's not too bad either. It's not too
bad. And then we'll go over to trac, and you could probably put them in the same category because trac's probably.
No, I'm pretty sure Petrarca's got a piss easy run compared to him.
So in round set, you'd really want to get trac in next week, hey?
Well, you can't get him next. I actually think even if Petrarca, for the Spotify listeners, he's got 156 break even next week. Obviously, he has the bye, so there's nothing there. You can either risk it for the Richmond game and just hope that he doesn't get anywhere near 156, but he could just be at 600k because there's every chance he can go 180. Like he's got the ceiling to do so. But Geelong as well. Yeah.
I think I've allowed 630 for him for next week. Not next week, the round 8 I could get him after the Richmond game.
So you're not going to get him for the Richmond game?
I don't think I'll have enough money. So next week,
I think it's
2 down.
I think it's stupid too, yeah.
And then get him. But he should be on everyone's radar, I think. Like he's got Richmond, Geelong, Carlton, then West Coast. Like he's just a player that in tough games scores better.
Yeah.
You know?
And that flows on just to my previous question about Stewart, right? So Stewart has dipped down a lot, but I feel like he might be back, but he's going to be 530k, so he's going to be very cheap to afford, or 540, 545 is what you said. Would you rather pay 545 for Stewart or pay 100k more for, well, it'll be more than 100k now because he scored 145, but would you rather save that spot for Luke Ryan? I feel like the value is there. You're not going to get Stewart at a cheaper price.
Yeah. It's such a interesting thing. I think that I'm going to answer this not being me. Like if I didn't have Luke Ryan and I didn't have Stewart, I would need to see a little bit more from Tom Stewart this year. But he does this all the time. Like sometimes he pops out 99, 77, 108, you know what I mean? And then the next week he'll go like 150, 160, 150, 130, and then pop out a 70. Yeah. You know? But the same can be said for Luke Ryan as well. He does the same sort of things. He just hasn't done it yet.
No, not yet. I think, So
wait, to recap on that, I think if rookies were pumping and there was heaps of cash going around at the time, and this is going to be around 7, so 2 rounds from now, I think I would go Luke Ryan if there was heaps of rookies and cash on the table still. But if rookies were drying up, I think
you wouldn't pay 677, I don't reckon, for Luke Ryan as well. You'd rather get an elite mid. Yeah, I thought. Well, I haven't looked at his price projections, but I'd assume he's going up to around the 670 mark in the next few weeks because of his 145.
Oh, and you wouldn't pay for him then?
I don't think you pay for 670 for a defender. It's just too far. One of those players that are gone. I'd rather pay that money for Merret if you just like you're doing.
Especially Luke Ryan. Like, I don't think I'm going to pay 670 for Luke Ryan, and when Luke Ryan can very easily just be shit. You know what I mean? Like, he can just be shit without anything. Just be like, bang, now he's a shit player, and then maybe he might come back.
The other thing, just quickly on a quick note, like we both have Dempsey in our team. He popped out a stinker because Hawkins, I reckon, was out, so he was had to play the sort of third forward or something like that, you know, because he can play forward at times. I still think he can get to 400k. I just think this game was an anomaly, and like he had basically he was on 2 or 8 at halftime, and he rescued his score to a 56. So the role's there. He gets played on the wing. He just needs to clunk one of these marks. I just forgot to put him at my round.
He starts it like half forward though. Like he doesn't start in a good spot.
Yeah.
Like, I think as the game goes on, he gets put on the wing.
Yeah, that's his role, but they like him building into the games. And when the tougher games come up, he got put in more. Like, he was on track for 100 last week, so the role's definitely there. He just needs to take a few more marks, but he was hardly going near the footy this game, which is I think it's an anomaly anyway. I would love. I'm just going to I've seen some people saying bench Dempsey. That's not it whatsoever.
Straight fielded. That's why I got him in my team, was to be a rookie that I could play on field.
We can just quick fire because I know that we've been doing this for a little while. But Zorko was a pick. He's looked phenomenal off half back, but he is also 35 and he had 4 soft tissue injuries last year. He could easily finish in the top 6. Would you entertain the idea of picking him up?
I don't think so.
No, I think he's too old.
There's so much options going around, and
there's going to be
so much value going through there. And if you're picking Zorko over a player like Tom Stewart, I think I'm going to go Tom Stewart over Zorko.
Yeah. And then just the ruck discussions, because I know we got a question on TikTok, wasn't it?
Yeah.
About what to do with Luke Jackson. So Luke Jackson's sort of in a weird spot at the moment. The issue with Luke Jackson is that he's 561. I'm pretty sure. What did he start as a price? I think he started at 520 from memory.
547.
So he's pumped out these 2 good scores, and then it's been mediocre the last 3 weeks, which I understand the question that we're having on Spotify. But the reason why you got him was for ruck coverage. And now if you have someone like, well, if you have a Gorn, he can fill in there. So he's good for the buys. But he has such a high break even, 156 break even. I think you just got to bite the bullet. If he gives you a player on the buys, that's an extra player on field. I don't see any reason for trading him, but I think the trade might have to happen next week, or you just keep him for the season and just, he can easily average 95. But Shrek's in the team next week, which is the biggest concern. So I see merit in holding him, and I see merit in trading him. Just, it's just a shame. I would have thought he maybe, because of his hot start, he would have got to 620 or 630, and then it would have been a great side trade to someone,
I think that, you definitely have to hold him for this week coming up, because he could very easily hit this break even. 156 against West Coast. Like, that's doable for him, even with Shrek in the team. Like, what's to say he's not going to kick a couple snags? But if you don't have players like Flanders or Heaney in your forward line, I don't see anything wrong with trading up to Heaney or Flanders to Lee Jackson. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. If you're like, because I think they're must-haves in your forward line, and if you don't have them now, you just trade.
And Heaney's going to be too late as well. But by the way, if you don't have Heaney, God, if you don't have Heaney, maybe you should just do the trade now. To be honest, to Jackson.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. If you don't have Heaney now, I would trade up to Heaney.
Yeah, I think our mate Nathan is probably in that situation. So hopefully he's
doing
listening.
that.
Yeah,
because that's an easy one down, one up.
Yeah,
and that's a great one down, one up. Now you got Heaney.
The top rucks, I think we sort of discussed it earlier. Obviously, Max Gawn is number one. Who do you think averages more? I guess you can put Grundy in there because I know you're a little bit biased towards Grundy. But do you think Rowan is the clear R2? Because that's definitely what it is in my eyes. I was looking, he had 90 to 95 range CBAs, Rowan, and English was in the 70s. So if you really... I think it's not light and day, that he's going to be R2.
I think that English isn't scoring bad by no means.
No,
120, 138, 124.
It's pretty good.
He's just had one down game. But I think Rowan's about to really start to hit his stripes, whatever it is.
This score should have been a 140, really. He had about 8 clearances, I'm pretty sure. And doing everything right. Just had a clanger at the end where game was so tight. So obviously when the games are close, the clangers are going to be worse for a worse deduction. But yeah, I think he looks... You just want to target these sole ruckmen. Look at how good Gawn's going.
In saying that, I'm still not counting out my boy Grundy. Like I don't trust English, and I'm probably not going to trade up to Rowan until maybe the buys. So I'm just going to roll. I think if you have Grundy right now, just hold him. Like just hold. There's no reason to trade him out. Just worry about other things until the time comes.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I think we can probably move on to our sort of last segment of just sort of VC captain options.
VCCs, baby. Let me do my trades. Now, I'm still like, is this...
so you can get your VC.
Am I spending too much money on Merret right now?
I mean, you could go cheaper, like I said, too. I think you need a big dog. We've worked out the strategy, haven't we? You need a killer in your team. You're getting a killer. And those ones get you quality scores in the buy rounds. I mean, we've read out all. I feel like the value is coming soon, but maybe it's not there yet.
I think unless you go
young.
Round 7.
Unless you go young.
Yeah, I don't want to put young in.
Yeah. So
and
you really don't need to trade Crouch though. That was another thought in my head.
Well, I have no other way to get anyone else. You know what I mean?
Couldn't you Couldn't you boost to try and just get rid of some rookies and
I can't get there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it. Look, Crouch is major money. You can piss him off for Merret, who's going to be M1 to about M4. The other thing you could do as well is get Rowell in. Because I think he is... You know what I feel about Rowell.
Actually, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy to pay up for Merret because this would probably be the highest I ever pay for anyone, and then I'm going to be chasing value throughout the...
That's it. I think you can only afford one of these players at their top price, and then you pick out the value.
Yeah.
And they'll drop down like they always do. And, you shouldn't get down if they maybe have a 110 game because they're capable of being an uber primo anyway. So, yeah. And him as vice captain is nuts. Like,
I hope so.
no one's going to have that. No one's going to have that. Because we go through just for the Spotify listeners. So, St Kilda Bulldogs, Bont, English, Rowan, or Steele is the options. I'm considering
Steele.
I'm considering Steele, but I'm considering Rowan as well. Because English leaks points. Because he's not a great tap ruckman.
This is such a Bont game, though. If there was ever a Bont game,
this
is the game.
So I've looked at it. I think Bont is there's just VC Bont, and then it's into a Heaney. But I think Bont. I think you can skip Bont and go see your Steele or your Merret VC and try. And the easy C fullback C is Isaac Heaney.
I actually want to check something out real quick. Like, mid Gold Coast is ranked 3 against mids. Like, is Heaney really going to go 150?
I mean, he's played against Melbourne, who's decent mid sort of lineup, and scored 144. But where is the game? That's the one thing I don't know. Sorry, it's at SCG. Look, it's at his home. He knows how to play there. I think it's a good fullback C. If you look at all these other games, who is your C going to come from, right? So you've got your pod VCs.
I'm thinking VC Bond into C Merret.
That's smart. That's actually very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could. I'm gobsmacked. No, that's actually good. Good on you, mate. Well, and that means you're done early. That's what you want. You want to be done early, and then you don't have to worry about it all weekend. And you know how I feel about Sunday captains.
That's actually good, mate. I'm a bit gobsmacked.
Unless you want to captain Luke Ryan against West Coast.
Well, let's go through it. Let's actually go through it. So Steele, Rowan, Bond. I think out of these, I'd be leaning towards like Steele or Bond. Like this is like no one's going to Steele again. Like nobody's going there. Nobody's putting attention to him. He's going 130, 140 again. No questions asked. Bond, I reckon he's going 140 as well. I reckon this is going to be such a hard, tough game.
St Kilda mids are pretty restrictive as well, I think.
Bont is a player that is Bont in hard games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we thought that last week though, but
yeah, true.
Didn't stand up. Pansy. I mean, Adelaide Essendon, we've already covered that one. Just go Merret.
Pies, MCG against Port. This is another good game to target. Butters could go nuts.
Rosie, but yeah. Collingwood. Oh, look, Nick Dacos could actually do really well. I think we're probably forgetting about him quite a lot. But nah, he hasn't looked that good. He just hasn't looked captain material yet.
Yeah, these are cats because you're gonna have to pick a VC in that first game. I think.
Yeah.
You're either going Steele or Bond.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to, but
Brizzy Geelong, nothing there. Carlton GWS.
Carlton GWS.
Yeah. Could go Tom Green, but they're very restrictive. Their midfield there for Carlton. So same with GWS. So this is what I mean. Their options are pretty thin, apart from
Sarong against West Coast. You could go.
Yep. So that's a good one. Or Ryan. Ryan is captain material.
Yeah. And then Heaney against Gold Coast.
We've said Heaney is the comfortable one. I mean, the person that has the last game of the round, Harry Sheasel.
Oh, against Hawks?
Yeah, but the other thing is, does Finn Mag... I don't know if Finn McGuinness tagged last week. I didn't watch the game.
They're not tagging Harry. You're going to tag and Sheasel off halfback?
No, well, I don't know if he tagged Flanders. I'll have to find it out. But He's
did.
more like
He did. I'm sorry. I
he
do
did.
remember saying that. Yeah, he did. He tagged
Oh well, I
Flanders.
wouldn't go near Sheasel. I would not go near
Sheasel.
Sheasel.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Flanders still went 116. So
yeah, exactly. So, but Finn McGuinness is actually a shout out to Finn McGuinness. He's actually got back-to-back 70s, and he looks like a cash cow. But I didn't see that one. I did not see that one coming at all.
Nah.
But yeah, other than that, I think an early VC and then maybe a later C. But you can always see Butters, I reckon. I just don't like captaining players against my team. That's the issue. You see him drop a 150 or something. The reason why he's got 150 is because he's won them the game. So I'll probably just skip past and just admire him from afar, just without a captaincy.
Yeah.
But that's about it, Michael. I don't have anything else to really add. I guess it's
I've got nothing to add.
Hopefully we can climb the ranks again. And I think you can with Merret. I think you can.
I hope this Merret trade is a
B, C, and C, by the
trade. Is a season defining trade. With the plan. So this is on record. So that I am paying up for this because I know I'm going to have to pay up for Steele, but I know I'm going to have to pay up for Merret. I think I want Merret before I want Steele. And then I'm just going to get trac next week. So I can't get Steele next week. If I went Steele, then I couldn't get Merret next week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one of the two and trac.
Parrish isn't playing well, so he's got to stand up half the time. So, look, it's a good trade-in, but there's just so many good options at the moment, so I don't think you can go wrong. Just really the price. But no, good luck to you, and good luck to everyone else.
Yeah, good luck, lads. Thanks for listening. It's been a pleasure.